So by now you've probably heard of Definity's decision to build up Utopia. If you haven't, Utopia is going to be this sovereign Web3 cloud service that will really cater to governments, corporations, and institutions, all these different entities that need absolute security and full control over their own private web servers. Divinity is the only crypto technology, or I should say ICP is the only crypto technology out there even capable of providing a service like this. All of these other chains are simply light years away, and I say that respectively. I've seen a lot of community members really kind of voice frustrations over this as well, and I just don't think that they're seeing the bigger picture of this. And when I sat down and really digested what Utopia means for Internet Computer, the community, Dfinity, there are a few things that I just couldn't help not to address. When it comes down to it, Utopia will create a significant revenue stream and it will add financial runway to Dfinity, the Internet Computer. Let's face it, the Dfinity Foundation runs off previous investments. It runs off selling the interest that they accrue for their stake in the NNS, which then pays for research and development, operations, payroll, things like that. Utopia gives this plush revenue stream to Dfinity through licensing fees, subscription models, long-term contracts. And one thing people don't realize is that Dfinity has over 200 patents within the cryptography realm. So there's probably a way that they could collect royalties and things like that out of this whole patent network of patents. This is also, I do think that Utopia is also kind of like a shield for Dfinity. And we see this happen all the time, especially in the corporate world, where you will have one corporate flagship decide that they want to deal within another part of the industry. So they will set up like a sister company or something like that. And if things hit the fan or go south or lawsuits pop up, guess what? It's out of the flagship, right? The flagship can't really be sued, but that sister company or whatever that separate entity, they are the ones being held legally responsible. It's kind of like having multiple LLCs on each house you own if you're a renter. That way, if lawsuit contagion happens, it won't spread. It just stays contained under the roof of that one entity. So I think that this is probably one of the reasons why they decided to separate Utopia from Dfinity and the Internet Computer, simply to protect the house, right? And when it comes down to it, Dfinity has built the Internet Computer, which is absolutely light years ahead of the rest of crypto. It just is. I mean, there's no denying that. So all of these different types of entities, governments, enterprise accounts, corporate, private sector, these are already entities that are out there actively searching for super secure cloud servers. We know this because they're using like Amazon Web Services, Google Cloud. And really, when it comes down to it, even if they're using those services, they don't have full control of what is going on within the cloud, right? So this allows them to really kind of build up their own hardware and structure, things from a software standpoint that works for them. And one thing that really got me super bullish, and I don't think that it's a coincidence that Dfinity announces Utopia, and all of a sudden, a couple days later, there is a partnership with the United Nations Development Program. what the United Nations Development Program is, it's an arm of the United Nations that really tries to help develop countries at like a technological level, at a software level. They are trying to improve poverty. They are trying to reduce corruption and things like that. So I do think that this is extremely beneficial because now it unlocks the door, being a first mover, to over 170 governments and all of the business entities working with those governments and things like that. So I think that this is kind of one of those things where a little snowball that rolls down the hill eventually turns into an avalanche of opportunity for Utopia and Definity. And I think that at the end of the day, this is going to be huge, especially if they can pull this off. Now, I think that, like I said, there's no coincidence that Definity, the UN, and Utopia, they've all kind of announced this partnership and launch around the same time, within weeks. So I think that there's more to it here that we don't know about. And I'm excited to see or talk to somebody to learn more. I feel like a lot of people just jump to conclusions without looking at the bigger picture, without kind of looking at some of the potential and facts that are actually available. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little explainer on why I'm bullish on Utopia.